Morning, Knicks Nation. Today is Friday, the 19th day of January 2024. I hope you're safe and healthy today, your family safe and healthy, and that the needs of you and your family in terms of food, shelter, clothing, as well as health are being met today. Blessings upon those that work in the healthcare field, who along with the first responders are every day dedicating their lives to save lives. And those that pick up garbage for us to keep our places clean, and those that make deliveries for our convenience. Double blessings on the men and women that are out here trying to help rescue, deliver, and recover teenagers and children who are the victims of child molestation and pedophilia. People who are also victims of pornography and child pornography, prostitution, child prostitution, human trafficking, sex slavery. Double curses on all the perpetrators, double curses on the profiteers, and double curses on the perverts that create this industry. Finally, double blessings on the homeless. There are nearly 600,000 men, women, and increasingly senior citizens over 65 that are homeless in the United States of America, and millions around the world in similar or worse conditions. Blessings upon them, for theirs is the kingdom. A lot to discuss today and a little time to go over it. But let's look at a couple things. First of all, there was a basketball game last night at MSG. Second night of a back-to-back. And the Knicks pulled out a win over the Washington Wizards, 113-109. Again, it was the second night of a back-to-back. Certain things have been confirmed. We got a stud in Jalen Brunson. An all-star, all-NBA level stud. In Jalen Brunson. I don't know if they're going to pick him for the All-Star team. He does it right now. There's several players ahead of him in the voting. The starters are picked by the fans, but the coaches pick the reserves. So we have to see what happens. But this guy is definitely on that level. And so 41 points last night. Again, he is the straw that stirs the pot. Julius Randle, other players, around him, respond to how he plays. Again, your Josh Hart was out last night, and it was interesting. But DiVincenzo played 38 minutes, Brunson 40, Hartenstein 39, Anunoby 43, Randall 39. Now, the only person on the bench that got rotation minutes was Quentin Grimes. We'll talk more about him in a second. But Tibbs only went 6 deep last night. Now, McBride played 8 minutes. McBride minutes is in direct relation to Brunson's minutes. There's 48 minutes at the point guard spot. There's 48 minutes for each position on the floor. Whatever minutes Brunson plays, but the difference between that and 48 is what McBride's going to play. So last night, Brunson played 40 minutes. Therefore, McBride plays 8 minutes. The concern that many of us have, including myself, is this is not sustainable. The way Brunson plays the game, he's not going to last to the playoffs. He's going to miss more games. In fact, he nicked himself up on his right leg last night. So we'll have to monitor that situation, see how it goes. That's the issue that I have. I'm not worried about the rest of the guys as much as that, because then you're gonna press Deuce suddenly into the starting lineup again, and the players got to get acclimated to him, and he's got to get ready, and you're putting a lot of pressure on him to be ready at any moment's notice to start. Okay, I just feel like if Tibbs reduces the minutes Brunson plays, and this is on Brunson, it's not Tibbs forcing him to do that. He wants to do that, but Tibbs should make him cut back. And just give him, and we're not talking about a lot. We're talking about 5 more minutes, basically. 5 to 7 more minutes of rest for Brunson, and those minutes going to Deuce. That would make sense, and that would save everybody for the playoffs. So anyway, they win last night. The Knicks are now 25-17, 8 games over 500. And as I said, they're getting better as the season goes on. Now, the big news. I want to listen, first of all, this is coming from Ian Begley, and this is when I pay attention. I don't pay attention when it doesn't come from Ian Begley. We'll talk about that in a second. Some of y'all still ain't caught that memo, but let's listen to what Begley is saying here.
Hopefully a quick recovery there, but Quentin Grimes was scoreless off the bench. He hasn't really taken advantage of his increased playing time since the Raptors trade, and you reported this week that the Knicks were taking calls on Grimes, so what's the latest with that?
Yeah, I think those calls will continue to come in ahead of the February 8th trade deadline, and I'm told that there are a few teams in particular that have expressed some interest. It is the Hawks, the Jazz, the Rockets, and Memphis. Those are among the teams that have expressed some interest in Grimes. So, take out the trade machine, figure out who could be coming back in those deals if you like to do that sort of thing. But yeah, keep an eye on those teams as we get closer to the deadline with Quentin Grimes.
So officially now, the Knicks are shopping Quentin Grimes. I've heard different things. I don't want to get into he said, she said. I've heard this, heard that. All that doesn't matter to me. What matters is that they're shopping Quentin Grimes. Number two, let me just give you the policy. Some of y'all ain't caught it yet because some of y'all don't listen to the video. You start commenting. Unless it comes from Bagley, Shams, or Wojnarowski, to me, it's BS. I don't care who says it. I don't care who you think is good out there. A broken clock is right twice a day. Okay? And I've seen over the many years I've been paying attention, I came to this conclusion by watching these guys over the last 5 to 10 years and watching what they said and watching what happens after what they said versus a lot of other people who say all kind of crap and half of it don't come to pass. Okay, so somebody record, and every week, especially every year at this time, the Knicks are involved with rumors on trades, and then in the summer, especially also, they're involved with rumors of trades, whether it's true or not. But these three guys, Bagley, Shams, and Woj, if they say it, something's happening. Okay. Otherwise, I don't care who says it. I don't want to hear it, and I'm going to put the BS print on it until it comes from me. So here we have now. Definitely a shopping Grimes. Now, Begley mentioned the Hawks, the Jazz, the Rockets, and the Memphis Grizzlies. And there's another team that I feel is above all of those that if the Knicks are shopping him, we should talk about. But let's go through these teams first. What we must look at, if Quentin Grimes is being shopped, what do the Knicks want? See, you just can't. A lot of people look at other teams' rosters and they start picking names as if you can just pick what you want off the shelf, and it doesn't work that way. First of all, your salaries have to match. Second of all, it's got to be a guy that fits in Tom Thibodeau's 9-man rotation. Third of all, it depends if you're getting an impact player that can start. Your starter that's going to come to the bench is DiVincenzo. Okay, so that's the only guy. You're not bringing OG to the bench. You're not bringing Jude to the bench. You're not bringing Brunson to the bench, and you're not bringing Hartenstein to the bench right now. So you're talking about DiVincenzo moving to the bench if you're going to bring a starter. Okay, now with regard to the Hawks, everybody's talking about DeJounte Murray. I don't feel DeJounte Murray fits, number one, next to Brunson. Sounds good on paper, but if it was going to work, it would have worked with Trae Young. It didn't. Number two, he's about to make $24 million a year. The Knicks have to pay Hartenstein this summer, and they're going to pay him. They have to pay OG this summer, and they're going to pay him. If they're trading Grimes, they don't have to pay him, and they're moving Fournier's contract. But you don't want to replace Fournier with somebody that may not fit, that you're stuck with for now 5 years at $24-25 million a year. So I don't think it's DeJounte Murray that they'd be looking at. I think the Knicks would be looking at a replacement for Grimes on the bench in that scenario, not a starter. So now you're talking about Saddiq Bey, AJ Griffin, and Jalen Johnson. I would like Jalen Johnson above all of those, but realistically, if I'm Atlanta, I'm not trading Jalen Johnson. You also, most Knicks fans don't think of it from the other side, what the other team wants. You put out BS trades that you think some team's going to accept. I would like Jalen Johnson because he's got a rookie deal also. It would match with Grimes. You wouldn't be sending Fournier out, but you just have that match. I don't think Atlanta's going to do that. But I think Saddiq Bey and AJ Griffin are possibilities. They're both young. They're both on rookie deals. I can see that possibility happening from Atlanta. When you're talking about Saddiq Bey right now, he's on the last year of a $4 million deal. He's a restricted free agent at the end of the summer. You can get him cheap. He's a guy that can step in Quentin Grimes' position. He's more polished than Quentin has been in the league, longer than Quentin. He's more polished than Quentin is. He's another Villanova guy. I can see that happening. I don't think any draft capital would be switched. And so that would be the only real guy. AJ Griffin's another promising young guy, but I don't know. I don't know how. Well, Tibbs would love him because he got a relationship with his dad, just like with the Brunsons. But so those two guys are the guys that I think don't want Capella. Why would you? You got Mitchell Robinson coming back. You got Hartenstein. What, you want to create another log jam at 5? No, we don't need Capella and all of that money. So that's not going to happen. DeJounte Murray is not going to happen. So they're not taking those two guys. That's not happening. So we don't need Bogdanovich because he's half available. First off, great shooter, no defense, no bueno. So that's not happening either. Okongwu, I'm not trading Okongwu if I'm Atlanta. I'd rather trade Clint Capella. We don't need him. So I'm looking at, my want would be Jalen Johnson. To me, he's the most talented young on the team, but you're not going to get him. If I'm Atlanta, I'm keeping him. And AJ Griffin, I'm probably keeping him. That leaves you with Sadiq Bey. Sadiq Bey would be the guy. I don't know if the Knicks do business with them for Sadiq Bey. Then you're talking about the Jazz. On the Jazz, you're dealing with really, I know a lot of people are going to be yelling about Olynyk. Forget Olynyk. And the reason I say forget Olynyk, let's take a look at the Jazz. The reason I say forget Olynyk is because Kelly Olynyk, first of all, he could come off the bench. He's in the final year of his deal. He's going to be an unrestricted free agent at the end of the year. So that's expiring money. But are you trading Quentin Grimes just to get expiring money? Then he's also a backup 4 and he's a backup 5. But then you got Mitchell Robinson coming back. Kelly Olynyk can't play the 3. He can't play the wing. He's a backup 4 or 5. So I don't think I'm trading Quentin Grimes to get Kelly Olynyk. No. But there's, and Taylor Hendricks would be the guy I'd like to get, but Danny Ainge ain't stupid. They just drafted Taylor Hendricks. He ain't going nowhere. They're keeping him too. So I would be looking at a bench, and Lauri Markkanen again, he's a 5. He's a starter. You're not sitting Hartenstein, who's playing great defense in Tibbs' style system. No. So you're talking about either Jordan Clarkson. Jordan Clarkson is in, let me see, I think he's got, let's see, Jordan Clarkson, who has been 6th man of the year. He is at a player option, which he exercised for this season. He's going to be a free agent. No, he's got an extension. He's got an extension. He's got $14 million coming over the next 2 seasons. That's really doable. Yeah, that's really doable. They could use that. Clarkson would be the guy I'd be looking at on the Jazz because he could come right into the spot where Grimes was and produce right away. Okay, so that'd be the guy I'd be looking at there. But also keep an eye on Ochai Agbaji because Agbaji is also in his rookie deal, plays great defense, can hit a 3. He'd be exactly where Grimes is now, and he'd be right in that spot. So that would be a 1-for-1, pick. I liked Agbaji in that draft out of Kansas. I still like Agbaji. I think he would be a good fit. So you're talking about Jordan Clarkson or Kai Agbaji. On the Rockets is interesting because the Rockets is where Quentin come from. Okay, he transferred from Kansas to go back to University of Houston and play at home. It would make it easier on his fam if he was in Houston. He would love to play in front of his fam. Problem is, I'm wondering where he would fit on the Rockets. Now, as far as the Rockets are concerned, the guy I would be looking for is Tari Eason. I would want Tari Eason. Now, Tari Eason is going to be out for the next week with a leg sprain or something. As long as he's healthy in a week, I'd take him. I'd take him. Dylan Brooks, you'd be including Evan Fournier in that deal. Dylan Brooks is a terrific defender. He's a little wild. And, of course, his mouth got him ran out of Memphis. So I don't think the Knicks want that drama. Tari Eason, Tayshaun Tate, but he's 6'4", 240, roughneck type dude, but again, another 6'4" guy. He can step right in for Grimes. He's not the shooter that Grimes is. He is a defender and rebounder, though. And, of course, Jalen Green, which they ain't getting rid of. So you're really talking about Tari Eason if you're talking about the Rockets. And, again, you're not moving Fournier in that deal. That would be a one-to-one deal. Tari has been coming off the bench both at LSU and in Houston. He wouldn't be expecting to start. I feel like I liked his game. I still like his game. Coming off the bench, he's averaging almost 12 points a game. Well, no, 10 points a game right now for Houston. So it would be a one-to-one switch, no draft capital involved. That would be a move I might make if I could. I'd look for Tari Eason from the Rockets. There's nobody on Memphis I want. Okay. Marcus Smart is out for 6 weeks. Something with his finger. I'm not messing with that. No, not while he's hurt. I'm not messing with that. And there's nobody else. They're not trading Desmond Bain. They're not trading John Morant. They're not trading Zaire Williams. They're not trading them. The Triple J staying there. So I don't know what Memphis, they might, they think they're going to fleece the Dom, and ain't going to happen. So I don't think Memphis is going to be involved. I don't want Marcus Smart, especially he's hurt right now. If he was healthy and he was playing, maybe. But he's out 6 weeks. So I don't know about that one. No, I don't think so. So really, we're talking about Houston for Tari Eason, the Jazz for Jordan Clarkson or Kai Agbaji, the Hawks for Sadiq Bey. That's what you're talking about. And these are really one-on-one moves, lateral moves, basically. Not really move the needle type moves. But here's a move the needle type move. Before I even talk to these people, if I'm the Don, I'm talking to the Brooklyn Nets. You see, earlier this past year, I did a video on the Mikal Bridges possibility. And in the video, what I said was, and I'll put the link to it in the description box, what I said in the video was that if the Nets faltered this year, they just blow it up. And their biggest trade piece is Mikal Bridges. They don't care what team it is, as long as they get what they want. Okay? That's the first call I'd make. See, because the Nets right now are in the 11th spot in the East and fading fast, 1-9 in their last 10. They're fading fast. The whole, hope of Ben Simmons, that's gone. So they got one more year of him at $40 million after this, and they can get rid of him. Other than that, they should be sellers at the deadline. And if they are, see, if I'm the Nets, I'm starting building around Cam Thomas, Day'Ron Sharpe, Lonnie Walker, Nick Claxton. I'm building around them. Okay? I need draft capital and young talent. If I'm going to trade Mikal Bridges, if I'm the Knicks, this is my best offer. I'm going to give you Quentin Grimes. Of course, you're going to take Fournier, make the salary work. And I'm giving you 4 number 1 picks. These are my picks. I will give you the Knicks pick from 2024, this coming season. The Dallas top 10 protected pick, which is going to convey because Dallas is in the playoff, right? I will give you the Bucks top. We got a Bucks top 4 protected in 2025. They can have that. Guaranteed, that's pretty much. Giannis and them ain't going to be in no lottery. Not next year. And then I'll give you the Knicks own 2026. I'll give you 4 number 1s, 2 protected picks, which is very strong going to convey, and 2 of our own picks for Mikal. Why? You slot Mikal in at the 2 guard spot. Now you got Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby on the wing. Mikal is a 78 to 82 game a year player. He's available. He developed an offensive game. He's already been all NBA defense. So you would have OG, who has been all NBA defense, and Mikal, who has been all NBA defense. Both of them have offensive capabilities. OG, of course, spot-up shooter from the corners. Mikal has just developed a game where he could go to the hole when he needs to, and he could shoot when he needs to. Villanova guy, next to Brunson. Then you take Dante, and you have Dante, Hart, Deuce, and now Precious, but eventually Dante, Hart, Deuce, Mitra in the second unit. I would give up them 4 picks Because if you do that, New York becomes the Eastern Conference Finals contender immediately. Okay? Everybody else we talking about, Atlanta for Sadiq Bey or Adrian Griffin, and even if you were talking to DeJounte Murray, that ain't no needle mover. The Jazz with Jordan Clarkson, Okai Body, yes, you're going to bring scoring off the bench. That would bolster your bench unit, but that ain't a big needle mover. The Rockets, Tari Eason, I love Tari Eason. That'd be a lateral move, though. No. Before I make any of these, I'm looking at Brooklyn, and I'm going to offer them the bag to get McCall. That's my first call. See, that's a needle mover right there. So let's see how this develops. I think the Knicks going to wait. The Don's going to wait all the way close to the trade deadline to make the best deal. That's what he's going to do. I'll be talking to the Nets if I'm New York, and I wouldn't be surprised if they are. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Enjoy the Knicks winning. Got another game tomorrow night, and let's continue this win. We'll talk against Toronto with our former homies. We'll talk to y'all soon. Y'all enjoy your weekend. Be safe out there. Shalom.